This morning, Wheels Up is announcing plans to start offering shuttle service in cross-country flights from New York and LA, and these will be scheduled flights, sort of like an airline, but not really, because it'll be on the comfort of a private plane. It's the latest move to open up the private air travel market to the business traveling masses that might not be able to shell out what you think about with private jet travel. Here to explain the new platform and the impact it can have on the industry, Wheels Up founder and CEO Kenny Dichter. And Kenny, you know, I guess we shouldn't be that surprised with what's happening in the world with Uber and all these things. Sooner or later, I guess it had to happen with private aviation, but it seems like it's a harder thing to do. Well, jet fuel certainly helped.
Sure, it helps, and that's a great factor. But what's propelling us into this market is the shared economy.
Right.
People's desire to be together. I think we're really the first social aviation company in the world, and our addressable market, you know, when we started Marquis Jet, it was 5 or 10 times NetJet's market. This market is 5 or 10 times Marquis Jet's market. So millions of people can play. And in building this platform, and again, you know, Henry Ellenbogen and the folks at T. Rowe Price, they encouraged us to look at what the millennials are doing. Guys like us, Joe, Andrew, we're super millennials. Becky, we're starting to act like the millennials. And people want to be together. They want to assemble. And our platform is going to address that via shuttle.
How does it work?
Yeah, that we need to know. Where does it go? How does it work?
Very simple. We have some critical mass now. We'll finish the year with 80 airplanes. So we have assets. And I think to be a player in this space, you have to have assets. So what we're going to do with the King Airs, there's 1-hour flights, New York, Nantucket, Boston to New York, D.C. There's plenty of those flights out there, L.A. to San Francisco, L.A. Vegas.
I assume you're doing them seasonally. If you're doing
seasonally, we can adjust it. We have the assets and we have the ability to run those Part 135 with our operator. So what we'll do is we'll sell those seats to our members, and now we have 2 tiers, at $795 per seat. So that really opens it up to...
What's the second-tier membership going to cost me?
The second-tier membership, which is an $87.60 membership, we're partnered with Apollo Jet on it, is $59.50. I think, Andrew, you could...
a year.
You could rip that, $59.50 per year.
And then if you want to go on the shuttle, then for one way, you take one of those. You don't go through LaGuardia or...
You keep your shoes on.
Right.
Keep your shoes on.
And so $795 one way to get there. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then, of course, on the coast to coast, we're looking at really the cost of our King Hour, which is right now $39.50. You'll be able, Joe, to zip right to Teterboro. And,
Teterboro to L.A. And
right to Van Nuys, and $39.50, and you're there in less than 5 hours.
Not on a King Air.
On a Citation 10.
One of my favorite jets. Yeah,
how much that going to cost me?
Fast.
$39.50 each way.
$39.50 each way.
Now it's interesting. Citation 10s. There have been 329 of them produced between 1996 and now. The brunt of them between 97 and 2006. We have an opportunity with our partners at Textron, Scott and Scott,
right,
to really, as they're taking airplanes back into the factory, refurb them and repurpose them for the long-range runs, and really the depth of that market. You know, hundreds of airplanes are coming back. They're going to sell their new Latitude, their Longitude, and Hemisphere. And like a car dealer, you got to take the airplanes back from the existing owners to service that. So what a great opportunity with them.
It seems to me like the confusing part is going to be logistics, like really making sure you know what asset is where at which point, making sure you have enough to cover the members who want private stuff versus this. How do you how do you figure that out?
You know what? 3 or 4 years ago, Becky, you couldn't have ever dealt with that.
Right.
Today, there's off-the-shelf technology. Listen, at the end of the day, we are going to make a huge investment in technology and keeping track of everything you just...
But are these going to be, are these not purpose-built, but for example, if you're doing the shuttle from one way to the other, is that the same plane that I could also charter myself?
We're going to dedicate the Citation 10s
for the back and forth.
Just to the shuttle. And I think, listen, could you do 30, 50, 100 Citation 10s over time? You know, if it works, and we believe it will, you can be a big operation that way. The King Airs are going to be fluid, meaning you can charter a King, but we're going to dedicate some of them to those 1-hour routes.
So you do, when you're a member, you have kind of a security clearance for your members, I guess, beforehand.
Well, basically, the TSA has different rules for airplanes with less than 19 seats. The pilots are responsible for that TSA check, and of course, the passengers are responsible for checking with the pilots. The most interesting thing that I'm seeing out there, Joe and Becky, Andrew, is we believe, you know, first off, by 2020, I've said it before in the show, we will be the largest platform as it relates to members, you know, flying private in any one company. So we will be the winner there. This Tier 2 membership, which is our 8760, partners like Steph Curry, Russell Wilson,
Right.
J.J. Watt, Serena Williams, we can bring those, Ricky Fowler.
Ricky.
We can bring those guys and gals up close and personal with our membership, which I think in today's world, you look at Live Nation's numbers, go look at Broadway, record years, people want to assemble and do things. They just don't want to sit on their phones at home.
But you don't have a financial news celebrity? You don't have one of those yet, honestly?
We got, listen, we're interviewing you and Larry Summers, and we'll.
I see Wheels Up so much. I'm worried about your advertising expense. I see it all over. How much are you spending on everything? Or is some of it hours?
You don't understand. This is like the cheapest man in America. I bet he's not spending anything.
He's spending hours.
In the same way that Donald Trump says he doesn't have to spend money because he's sort of got a brand already.
Right.
We have a very special currency. Hours. And
hours.
Every celebrity or every person you see out there with the logo, they all buy the membership full price. They buy hours from us. But then
on Saturdays, you fly someone to game day, and it's here's the Wheels Up, and I see it all over. But I'm shocked where
listen. I got to thank our advertising and marketing folks in our business, and listen, you got to thank American
How many
Pharoah.
members now, and how many we have by the end of the year?
Okay, we have 2,300 currently as I'm sitting here. We'll finish the year at 3,500 as it relates to our core business. Our partnership on the 8760 with Apollo, we're already at 400. We haven't announced it yet. We'll finish up at 1,500.
Who are you taking the business from?
We're taking the business from a couple of places. I think that the sort of the old economy players, I think we're like sort of their 7, 8, or 9 iron, those current members. If you want to fly less than an hour or two, you're crazy to be flying in the fractional space, and you're crazy to be flying in the old car business. You should be with Wheels Up. The other thing that's really fantastic about the business and the addressable market, 35 to 40% of our members are coming from commercial aviation. So that's encouraging.
Okay.
All right, great. Thanks for the update,
I kind of like the flight across the country flight.
It was, by the way, it was built for you.
It's built for $4 grand?
$39.50.
$39.50 is $4 grand.
That might not be.
But each way.
That's $39.50, and we'll throw in a love at first sight.
That might.
We'll throw in a little juice press for you, Andrew.
There you go. Very good. Thank you.